the ceiling function. This function rounds a number up to the nearest multiple specified by the user. The syntax is ceiling, value to round up, and the multiple to round up. Now let's take this table here. We have the number 2.1. Then in this column we have the formula. These are the formulas working here. We have the formula here to round this number up to the nearest one. So what it does is it picks this number 2.1 and rounds it up to the nearest number. Does the same for this number here. So this is still the formula working here to the nearest one. Also 1.9 gives 2 to the nearest one. In this example I have 20 here, but I want to round up 20 to the nearest 30. So it works in multiples. So it's going to round up 20 to the nearest multiple of 30. So the nearest multiple of 30 to 20 is 30. That's why this gives us 30. The same thing here, 25. The nearest multiple of 30 to 25 is 30. So that's why if I put the formula ceiling and C8, 30, it gives 30. Now let's look at 40. I want to round up 40 also to the nearest 30. So it goes to the next multiple of 30 after 40. So the multiple of 30 are 30, 60, 90, 120, and so on. So the one that will be rounded up to will be 60, because 60 is the next multiple after 40. So that is how ceiling function works. It rounds up number to the nearest multiple that you specify. Okay, let's take this example. The following table was used by an estate agent renting holiday apartments. The properties being rented are only available on a weekly basis. When the customer supplies the number of days required in the property, the ceiling function rounds it up by a multiple of 7 to calculate the number of full weeks to be billed. So this is a good way and a good example for using the ceiling function. So irrespective of the number of days used, it will be billed per week, means 7 days per week. So you can just slot in the ceiling function into this cell to generate the value that we need here. So it's going to be ceiling, bracket open, D28, this value, comma, the multiple of 7, since it works in sevens, multiple of 7. So the next multiple of 7 after 3 is 7. The same thing here. But the next multiple of 7 after 10 is 14. So that is how this function works, and it's a very, very brilliant function. And another way that it works well is when you are dealing with money and you have something like this, the fractional parts, and maybe you are selling a product for that price and you have it like this. You can use the ceiling function to sum it up, to round it up to the nearest value. So I'm going to do that now, but using the insert function. You can always access your functions using this FX. When you click the FX, it opens the insert function dialog box. You type in the function you want to work with, in this case ceiling, and click go. So I select ceiling here. Now it brings the argument needed for ceiling to function, the number you are trying to round up, and to what significance, that's the multiple you want to round it up to. So in this case I'm going to specify here, this is the value I want to round up. I want to round it up to 1, that is the nearest multiple of 1. So this function argument explains how this works, and you can see from here my number, my formula result is 35. it rounds a number up to the nearest multiple of significance. The significance is the multiple to which you want to round to. So you can always use this function argument to work with your function, and it will explain all the steps for you. If I click OK, it slots in my answer, which is 35. I can drag this down to have the answer for the next one. Even if this is 35.05, it will still give me 36 because it is rounding up, not down. So this is how the ceiling function works. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you do so, check us up in the next lesson. Thank you.